Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwantner and welcome to Selling Power's Daily Report. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Terry Shudeen. She's the principal of Shudeen Communications and the author of a wonderful book called The New Sales Speak. Terry, in this book you talk about the 9 mistakes that salespeople make when they make presentations. What's the number one mistake?
Most professionals have become far too informative in nature rather than persuasive. There's a lot of reasons for that, but the biggest one is there's no risk in being informative. We don't hear the words no while we're being informative. And the truth is that we found over the years is that many people have become very comfortable with sucking a sales professional dry of their information and oftentimes using that information to try to negotiate another deal someplace else. So it's a very delicate balance between providing an adequate amount of information and yet still providing rock-solid, persuasive arguments that move a prospect towards action.
Terry, can you give me an example of a presentation where the salesperson is persuasive? Can you make one up for me?
What I try to do is to get people to understand if we can identify what your David Letterman top 10 most persuasive arguments are and stay focused on that, it will be very difficult for your opponent, or in this case, other contenders for your prospect's business, to beat you, if you will, in terms of having a better case. So what we really try to do within my company and the goal of New Sales Speak is to get people to brainstorm and say, look, let's sit down together, and even in a small group within your organization or at a larger group at a conference, get everybody to identify, I think our best argument is A, and somebody else might say it's B, and it helps them to feel empowered and, most importantly, be much more persuasive rather than just informative.
And that's essentially the message that you have in the book, where the company has all the information available, but they need to assemble it and prioritize it and present it in a certain way. How do you get salespeople to present in a pleasant way where they are on message, but also communicate with a lot of empathy and a lot of feeling and a lot of appeal?
That's another one of those areas that's a very delicate balance. How do you help people to communicate the corporate message, giving them permission to do it with their own style and personality, and yet still meet the goals, objectives, and the culture of that organization? It can be challenging, but look, the bottom line is the more fun you have delivering your presentations, the more fun people have listening to them, and that's how you create the relationships. And people say, look, this is a relationship business. Well, how do I develop a relationship with someone if I'm a Stepford person when I'm communicating a message? It just doesn't connect.
Once it's organized and prepared and he has the top 10, how do you make it fun?
Inherently, most people who are in sales are what we call high energy people, A-type personalities. So all we really have to do is just look at the top producers. And one of the common denominators of top producers is they seem to have crossed over into that ability to be themselves. To just give yourself permission to let your personality to shine and tell your stories and your experiences, and say it's okay to laugh and smile and be a little weird and be the character that you are.
So what you're saying is we need to balance the structure of the presentation with the form, so we are authentic. We don't want to have a corporatized, sanitized presentation, but a human presentation that engages the audience. Join us tomorrow. We'll continue our conversation with Terry Shudeen, and we talk about how to create an elevator speech that's totally irresistible.